They say the past never dies. It just waits for the bell to ring again. Hallow Creek High looked ordinary by daylight, but its history was soaked in whispers. A west wing bricked up after a mysterious fire. Lockers that slammed shut on their own. An intercom that sometimes spoke with a voice no living teacher claimed. On the first Monday of October, that voice returned. It rasped through every classroom speaker with polite calm. "Good morning, students. Attendance will be taken." The silence was sharp. Then came the first name. Mara Bell! Mara Bell had died in the fire 50 years ago. Her photo still hung on the history wall. Dark hair, faint smile, class of 73. The intercom answered itself. "Present." The lights flickered. A thread of smoke drifted through the vents. 5 students, Daniel, Sophie, Ryan, Lena, and Ethan, felt the words crawl beneath their skin. By third period, they called the intercom a glitch. That's when the substitute walked in. No roll sheet, no bag. A gray dress, a thin chain, pale eyes that blinked too slow. "Good morning. I'm Miss Calder," she said. "Open your books." Her voice was the intercom's voice. To Daniel, 2 nights without sleep. Page 13. That's where your story begins. To Lena, locker tape shut. Page 13. The page for liars. To Ethan, you'll laugh when you're afraid, but the echo won't be yours. Page 13. Where jokes die. To Ryan, you'll say something cruel you can't take back. Page 13. Cruelty is remembered. To Sophie, you pretend to care for others so no one sees what's eating you. Page 13. The hungry page. The room turned to ice. Ms. Calder placed a cloth-bound book on Daniel's desk. It smelled of pennies and chalk. "Take notes in the margins," she said. "This book likes dates." Inside, scribbled names, some crossed out, others marked with years. 1955, 1968, 1973. The bell stuttered like a dying breath. On each desk, a detention slip. Midnight. Room 13. "There's no room 13, Sophie whispered. Ethan's voice was flat. "There is, in the west wing." That night, fear and curiosity pulled them back. The school was silent, every clock stuck at 12:01. They followed numbered doors. Room 11, room 12, and then a door they'd never noticed. Room 13. Rusty plaque, hinges stiff. It opened with a sigh like old lungs. Desks. Old wood. Initials carved deep. Dust everywhere. On the blackboard, pale chalk still read, "Attendance." The lockers along the far wall banged open, one by one, like unseen hands checking the roll. Echoes rattled down the corridor outside, repeating endlessly. On the teacher's desk lay the cloth-bound book. Daniel opened it. Fresh words bled into the margin in his own handwriting. "Welcome back." They stepped into the hall, trying to leave. It stretched too long. Their footsteps echoed seconds after they stopped. Ryan scratched an X into a locker. 30 steps later, the same X was already waiting. Every turn led them back toward room 13. "This place is folding," Ethan whispered. "Like a page." A faint rattle came from a locker. Against Sophie's warning, Ethan opened it. Inside hung a burned school uniform, black and still smoking faintly. A name tag read, Mara Bell. The sprinklers coughed, not water but ash, sifting down like snow. The smell was sharp, like burned hair. Ethan slammed the locker shut. The ash kept falling for 3 long breaths, then stopped. Shaken, they returned to room 13. The lights flared. Ms. Calder stood at the front. "Good evening, students," she said. "Detention has begun." Her smile was razor thin. "Confess, and the shadows will not take you. One of you must remain. The rest may leave the corners, bloomed with shadows." They didn't just gather. They reached. Fingers brushed hair, curled around ankles, slid across desks. Ryan cracked first. "Fine, I stole the exam answers last year." The shadows twitched and pulled back. Ethan's voice shook. "I let my brother take the blame for breaking the window." I laughed while he cried. The dark around his chair shrank. Sophie's turn. A shadow hand pressed against her throat until she choked. She gasped. "I bullied someone until she left school?" I knew she cried every night, and I didn't stop. The hand slid away. Lena trembled. "I spread lies because I was afraid of being invisible. I didn't care who it hurt." The shadows lifted from her shoulders. All eyes turned to Daniel. The darkness pooled thick around his chair. The book flipped on its own, ink bleeding across the page. "Your turn." Daniel whispered, "My grandfather was a janitor here. He said the fire wasn't an accident. He said it was started to keep something from spreading." The lights buzzed violently. Ms. Calder tilted her head, pleased. "Confession accepted." The bell clanged once, metallic and final. Ms. Calder picked up chalk and wrote, "Abigail Flores, Nolan Parry, Ruth Ann Cole, Isaac Levin, Mara Bell." Then a sixth, Daniel Crane. Daniel's body blurred like chalk smudged from slate. His mouth formed a single word the air spoke for him. "Present." The lights snapped on and off, then steadied. Daniel's desk was empty. The book lay open, his name written with today's date beneath. Every desk around them suddenly filled, burned, silent students, faces white and blistered, hands folded neatly. In the teacher's chair sat Miss Calder, pale eyes fixed on the 4 survivors. The intercom clicked. "Next class will begin soon." The 4 fled, but every hallway twisted back to room 13, and the intercom whispered again, calm as prayer. "Attendance will be taken." By morning, the ash was gone. Teachers shrugged at flickering lights. The history wall still showed Mara Bell and the others, though the photos looked darker. Daniel's locker was spotless. The office marked him absent. But when roll was called, the intercom clicked, and his voice answered, "Present." The survivors avoided the West Wing, never knowing why. Sometimes blank detention slips appeared under their books, letters pressed into the paper. Midnight, room 13. Some nights they woke at 12:01, certain a bell had just tolled. Some nights they dreamed of burned students and a substitute smiling without teeth. Because Hallow Creek remembers. It records what it is owed, in chalk, in ash, in margins that write themselves. One desk in room 13 always waits for the next name. They say history repeats itself, and in Hallow Creek High, it always does.